You have been told that the statues of saints protect your home. But what if I told you that some of them, yes, even those made in their image, have become open doors for the enemy? Not because the saints are impure, no, never, but because man, in his pride and blindness, has crafted images that heaven never blessed. And demons, cunning beyond your imagination, know exactly how to hide behind what you least expect. Listen carefully, child of God, because you were not supposed to know this. I have seen homes that were once sacred turn into silent battlegrounds because of an innocent statue standing in the wrong corner. I have watched souls wonder why prayers seemed unanswered, why fear slithered in at night, and why peace withered away like dying leaves. They blamed themselves, they blamed their families, but they never once looked at that small smiling figure gathering dust on the mantelpiece. Comment below if you have ever felt a strange unease near a religious image. You are not alone. Some statues were not made in the spirit of reverence, but were born in workshops darkened by greed, blasphemy, or even occult mockery. Their hands did not pray over the stone, they cursed it in laughter, they sold it in mockery, they sealed it with the fingerprints of the fallen. The shape may be correct, the face may be tender, the robe may be white, but the spirit behind its making stains it like blood on cloth. And when you welcome such a statue into your home thinking you are inviting protection, you are not merely decorating your walls, you are signing a covenant you never intended to make. The enemy does not need your permission in words. He only needs your blindness. And when you bring such a statue into your home, thinking you are inviting protection, you are, without knowing, setting a place for the enemy to sit, smile, and wait. You see, the devil does not always come with horns and roaring flames. Sometimes he wears a halo made of lies. Sometimes he stands silently in the very places you believe are safe, and his favorite victory is when no one ever questions. I whisper this to you now because many would rather I stay silent. They would rather you sleepwalk through your faith, blind to the traps laid in your path. But heaven weeps when the soul perishes from ignorance. Heaven weeps when a home falls, and no one understands why. There is a reason why some homes, even when adorned with images of saints, feel heavier instead of lighter. There is a reason why certain rooms feel colder, why prayers bounce off the walls instead of rising to heaven. It is not always your fault. It is not always because you lacked faith. Sometimes it is because something you believed was holy was secretly defiled. Pause. Feel this weight in your chest, that stirring inside you. It is not fear, it is awakening. It is your soul recognizing a truth it always suspected. Do not be ashamed if you have fallen into this trap. So many have. The enemy counts on your innocence. He counts on your longing for protection, for blessing, for connection to heaven. And he twists it, he mocks it, he stains it. Not every statue sold in a religious store is safe. Not every smiling face carved in marble sings praises to heaven. Some sing silent songs of despair. Some have been blessed, not by priests, but by hands that whisper curses instead of prayers. When a statue is created without purity of heart, when it is fashioned by hands that do not know or honor God, it can become a beacon not for angels but for the fallen. It becomes a throne, a hideout, a silent foothold in your sacred space. And once they claim a corner, they spread. Have you noticed it before? A corner in your home you avoid without understanding why. An image you glance at and feel suddenly small, afraid, unwelcome. A night when prayers slip away from your tongue and you cannot explain the sorrow that grips you. It is not your imagination, it is not foolishness, it is a warning. Share this video if you have ever sensed darkness where there should have been light. You are not alone, and your courage to awaken could save another. Not every statue that carries a saint's face carries heaven's blessing. Some carry the fingerprints of betrayal. Some were carved by hands that knew exactly what they were doing. Others were made carelessly, and demons, opportunistic as they are, seized them eagerly. And so I must tell you, as your brother in Christ, as one who bleeds in spirit for every soul led astray, Do not assume that what looks holy is holy. Test it, pray over it, bless it, and if your soul still recoils, listen to that recoil. Your soul was crafted by the breath of God Himself. It knows more than your eyes see. It senses more than your mind dares to accept. And I will tell you this now, because the time is short and the deceptions have deepened. There will come days, soon, when what is false will wear the face of what is true, more cunningly than ever before, and only those who have sharpened their souls to listen will survive untainted. Promise yourself now, you will not ignore the whispers of your soul again. Write it below. Let heaven and earth see your covenant. There are statues that carry more than dust. They carry a history, a hidden lineage of hands and hearts that never bowed to heaven. And when you allow them into your home, you are not merely bringing in marble or plaster. You are welcoming in a silent agreement, one that whispers to the darkness, "Here is a place for you to hide." You may think, but it's just an object, it's a statue of a saint. It cannot harm me. Child, even the Ark of the Covenant, holy beyond words, struck down those who approached it with unclean hands. How much more vulnerable are objects crafted without heaven's breath? Objects born in pride and greed and rebellion. There are statues carved by hands that invoke no prayer, no consecration, only profit, only mockery. Some were created as traps, their very crafting soaked in curses too ancient for your ears to recognize. Others were merely shaped in negligence, but demons, clever as wolves in sheep's clothing, claimed them nonetheless. You think they will show you fangs? No. They prefer the silent paths, the hidden cracks. They will let you pray beside them, unaware. They will let you kneel in trust, while they weave webs unseen over your mind, your marriage, your children. If you have ever sensed a darkness in a place that should have been sacred, comment below. Your soul was not wrong. Your senses are gifts. I have seen families crumble without understanding why. I have seen faith erode behind smiles and busy prayers. They blamed themselves for being unworthy, for lacking devotion. But they did not know there was something watching, feeding. Demons are not bound by your symbols. They are not repelled simply because something looks holy. They are repelled by the true presence of God. And if an object, even one resembling a saint, has been tainted, then that object no longer reflects heaven. It becomes a mirror through which the enemy peers into your life. You may not feel it at first. The first cracks come quietly, a heaviness in prayer, a sleep that is no longer restful, disagreements that flare from nowhere, an invisible choking of joy in the house. The enemy does not rush. He builds his nest patiently. Pause. Close your eyes for a moment. Remember the last time peace slipped from your home without reason. Was there something, some object that entered not long before? When a house becomes spiritually contaminated, it does not announce itself with screams. It sighs, it fades, it decays in spirit before it collapses in life. And most will never trace it back to that blessed statue placed gently by the window. O child, how heaven weeps for the ignorance that costs so much, and how the enemy laughs in silence, seated comfortably behind the smiling face of a saint. Let me tell you something few dare to say. An idol is not merely a golden calf. An idol is anything created, placed, and venerated without true spirit, and anything defiled in its origin, no matter its shape. Even if it wears the robe of a saint, even if it stands in the posture of prayer, it can become an idol if heaven did not anoint its birth. This is why it is written, "You shall not make for yourself a graven image." It was not because statues are evil, it was because man is easily deceived. Because man easily forgets that form is nothing without the breath of God animating it. Share this revelation if you feel the weight of it stirring inside you. Someone you love may need this awakening. You must understand, demons are ancient, older than your cities, older than your languages. They know every weakness in human pride. They know how to mimic beauty. They know how to disguise death as devotion. Not all statues carry danger, but the ones that do, they do not shout, they do not move. They simply open a silent, invisible door, a door that once opened does not close easily. And in that doorway, little by little, the atmosphere of your home shifts. Love becomes irritation. Faith becomes ritual. Dreams become restless. You wake up one day and realize you are surviving, not living. Worshipping, but not believing. Breathing, but not alive. I'm telling you this not to frighten you. Fear serves no good. I'm telling you this because awakening is the only antidote. The only cure to an infection you cannot see is light, and the light comes when you begin to see what was once hidden. Remember, statues themselves do not save you. No image, no figure, no object carries salvation. Only Christ saves, only the Spirit sanctifies. And anything that becomes a substitute for living faith, no matter how beautiful, becomes a snare. This is not to strip your home of beauty. No, beauty is born in heaven, but you must discern which beauty was born of light and which was hollowed out in darkness. Look around your home tonight. Pray over every statue, every image. Ask for discernment you never dared to ask before. And if you feel even a sliver of unrest, do not ignore it. There are moments in your life when you are invited to see beyond appearances. This is one of them. Heaven is closer than you think, but so is the enemy, and the battleground has always been the unseen places you thought was safe. I have seen it with my own eyes. Not once, not twice, but many times, more than you would want to know. I have seen statues that once carried light, now hollowed out, desecrated not in body but in spirit. There was a house. I remember it as if it were yesterday. A home of good people, faithful people. They prayed their rosaries. They knelt before a statue of St. Michael, proud and gleaming on a pedestal near the hearth. But something was wrong. The prayers did not lift. The house grew heavy, as if unseen hands pressed down on every heart within those walls. When I entered, I felt it immediately. The weight, the suffocation of a presence that did not belong. I looked toward the statue and my soul recoiled. It was St. Michael, or rather it wore his form, but heaven's breath was absent from it, and in its place something else coiled and watched, smiling without lips. The family could not see it. They only saw the polished stone, the familiar wings, but I saw the wrought behind the marble. I heard the silence that screamed. If you have ever sensed an invisible heaviness without explanation, comment below. Your soul's alarm bells are never wrong. I had to act quickly. I instructed them to remove the statue at once, to cleanse their home with prayer and fasting. Some wept, confused, others hesitated. How could something so beautiful be harmful? How could something they trusted be the very anchor of their suffering? But when the statue was taken away, the change was immediate. The air lifted, the prayers rose like incense once more. Children laughed again. Dreams returned. Joy cracked through the darkness like the first light after endless night. This is not to frighten you, child. This is to open your eyes. For the enemy preys on your love of beauty, your reverence, your trust. He wears the skin of what is good to plant his seeds unseen. It is written that even Satan disguises himself as an angel of light. Why would you think he would not disguise himself through what you call holy? I whisper these things to you now because time is short. The deceptions are deepening. The enemy sharpens his tricks, not just in the world, but inside the walls you think are safest. Share this revelation if you feel it stirring your heart. Someone you love may be trapped and not even know it. Remember, child, statues are not alive. They are vessels. And vessels can be used for good, or they can be claimed by evil. The clay does not decide its spirit. The hands that shape it, the prayers or curses that baptize it, the faith or mockery that accompany it, these are what determine its allegiance. When you bring an image into your home, you are inviting its history. You are welcoming its silent ancestry. You must ask yourself, what lineage am I allowing across my threshold? There are statues that have never been touched by darkness, born in prayer, shaped by pure hands, lifted in blessing. They are reminders of heaven, and they stir your soul upward. But others murmur of forgotten altars, of hidden vows, of mockeries whispered over the carving table when no one was watching. Not all evil is loud. Some of it is patient, some of it smiles. When you pray tonight, ask heaven to reveal what must be removed. Promise yourself you will listen. You were not meant to live among invisible chains. You were not meant to kneel before tainted thrones. Your spirit knows. It always has. That unsettled flutter in your chest, that quiet hesitation when your eyes pass over a certain object, that dream you shrugged off as nonsense, they were not accidents, they were alarms, heaven's alarms. If only you knew how many times angels have stood unseen around your home, aching for you to notice, wishing you would ask the question you were afraid to ask. Is everything here truly of God? The enemy thrives in what you do not question. He slips into the unexamined corners. He dances in your assumptions. I tell you this now with love heavy as the cross. It is not enough to decorate your life with images of saints. You must decorate your life with their spirit. You must test the spirit behind everything you bring into your sacred spaces. If your heart is pounding now, if your soul feels the stirrings of a memory too deep to name, write it below. Mark this awakening. In the days to come, the lines between light and dark will grow thinner. What once was obvious will be cloaked in beauty. What once repulsed will appear attractive. Discernment will no longer be a luxury. It will be a survival instinct. You are not alone in this battle. Heaven fights for you, but you must fight alongside heaven. Not blindly, not naively, but with eyes opened, with heart blazing. The statues that have heaven's blessing will sing peace into your bones. The ones that carry hidden curses will drain you, dry you, smother you slowly. It is subtle, it is patient, but its end is devastation if you do not awaken. Promise yourself this night you will no longer walk blind. You will no longer ignore the stirrings of your spirit. Write your covenant below. The enemy fears one thing above all else: an awakened soul. A soul that sees through the disguise. A soul that chooses light even when light is wrapped in the shroud of mystery. Tonight that soul could be you. You ask then how to know, how to see what is hidden, how to separate what is truly blessed from what only wears a mask. Child, the answer has always been stitched into the fabric of your soul. Discernment is not a voice that shouts. It is a whisper you have long ignored. The soul, when cleansed in prayer and silence, recognizes what the eyes cannot. Begin first by praying aloud in your home. Not rushed, not mechanical. Speak the name of Christ with reverence and authority. Walk from room to room to. Place your hand gently on each statue, each image, and listen. Not with your ears, but with your soul. Some will feel as if they breathe back peace into your hands. Others will throb with a silence that stings like ice against your skin. There will be some you touch, and your heart will sigh, will lift, and there will be others, O child, where a coldness will press against your chest, where your spirit will recoil before your mind understands. Do not excuse it, do not reason it away. If you have ever prayed and felt the air grow heavier instead of lighter, comment below. Your instincts were not wrong. For those statues, those images that disturb your spirit, you must act without delay. Remove them. Burn them if you must. Or bury them deep where the earth can reclaim what man perverted. Do not keep them out of guilt. Do not keep them out of sentiment. Your soul is not worth a single ounce of misplaced nostalgia. The enemy will whisper, "You are overreacting. It's just a statue. You're imagining things." But the enemy always mocks the alarms he cannot silence. Remember, 1,000 beautiful words cannot cleanse what was cursed in its beginning. You must fight for the purity of your home. You must become violent against anything that threatens the breath of heaven inside your walls. Share this truth if you feel the fire awakening inside you. Someone else's soul may depend on your courage. And when you have removed what is impure, when you have broken the silent contracts made without your consent, then you must sanctify your home anew. Invite priests if you can. Bless your thresholds, your windows, your beds, your hearth. Consecrate every wall with prayer, every door with the sign of the cross. Speak aloud the sovereignty of Christ over your dwelling, until every spirit that lingers flees, trembling, into the darkness. There is a power in spoken blessing that the enemy dreads. Not the rote words of habit, but the living fire of a soul speaking heaven's name. Do not be deceived. Statues are not guardians. Your faith is your shield. Your prayer is your fortress. Your obedience to the whisper of discernment is your sword. Promise yourself tonight you will no longer live unaware. You will no longer decorate your sacred spaces with hidden chains. There is no shame in realizing you have been deceived. There is only shame in choosing to stay deceived once you see. And oh child, how heaven rejoices when one soul, one tiny light, throws off the invisible noose the enemy has wound around them. I have seen it. I have watched darkness recoil when a soul, trembling but determined, sweeps clean the temple of their life. There are some wounds that heal only when the source of infection is cut out completely. And make no mistake, spiritual contamination left unchecked seeps into everything. It poisons hope, it strangles trust, it sours love. It invites confusion, conflict, despair. If you have wondered why peace is fleeting in your home, if you have wondered why prayers seem to tangle in your throat, if you have wondered why fear shadows your dreams, look closer, look deeper. What have you brought into your life without asking heaven first? Child, you were not made to live in fear. You were not made to kneel before mockeries. You were crafted to walk in authority. You were crafted to recognize the counterfeit by the beat of your spirit-filled heart. Heaven has already placed the lamp inside you. It only waits for you to uncover it. If your heart burns with a memory you can no longer ignore, write it below. Break your silence. Let your awakening begin. I tell you now, not with anger, but with a love so fierce it could shatter mountains. You are more powerful in Christ than every dark statue, every hidden curse, every whispering lie. The enemy knows it. That is why he must deceive you before he can defeat you. But once you truly see, he loses his power. You will walk through your home with new eyes. You will recognize the coldness clinging to certain corners. You will see the way some images drink the light instead of reflecting it. And you will choose, not in fear but in fierce sacred clarity. Child, the statues that truly come from heaven do not bring shadows. They do not weigh on your spirit. They lift you, sing to you, point you beyond themselves to the throne of God. Anything else, no matter how beautiful, no matter how revered by man, must be cast down. When you remove what is false, when you reclaim your sacred spaces, you will feel it, the breath of heaven rushing back into your life like a river unchained, and you will wonder, with tears running down your face, how did I ever live under so much weight without realizing? And when that river rushes back, when the breath of heaven sweeps through your home once again, you will understand something few ever do. You are not merely protecting your home, you are reclaiming your soul's rightful throne. Child, heaven is not a faraway kingdom you will enter only after death. Heaven begins now wherever the King is enthroned, and he desires to reign not only in the churches but in your home, in your heart, in the quiet spaces where you live, where you dream, where you weep, where you laugh. Every image, every object, every presence you allow within your walls whispers a testimony, whether you hear it or not. Some whisper songs of light, others hum dirges of despair. You are not helpless in this. You are not condemned to guess blindly. The Spirit of God living and breathing within you is your compass. And now that you have awakened, you will never again mistake the chill of deception for the warmth of truth. Promise yourself now, you will guard your gates with the vigilance of heaven's soldiers. Write your covenant below. I tell you this with trembling hands and burning heart. In these days, the thin line between sacred and profane grows thinner still. You will see images praised as holy that carry darkness. You will see voices praised as anointed that speak only poison. You will see crowds following symbols that no longer carry light. But you will not be deceived, because the one who dwells within you is greater than anything carved by human hands. You are called to discern, to awaken, to cast down the counterfeit with courage that shakes the unseen world. And when you do, when you cleanse your home, your life, your altar, when you strip away every silent agreement you made unknowingly, you will rise. You will rise like a flame that refuses to be snuffed out. You will rise like a river breaking through ancient chains. You will rise like a soul whose song no longer echoes in a prison, but soars free under heaven's open sky. Share this awakening. Let the ripple carry beyond you. Someone else's freedom may depend on your courage. I have seen the enemy's plan. He weaves his chains in the things you love, hoping you will cling to them even as they strangle you. But I have also seen the angels weep when one soul, even one, breaks free and says, "No more, I belong to Christ alone." You were never meant to bow to carved wood or polished stone. You were never meant to kneel before silent idols, even when they wore the robes of saints. You were crafted to walk boldly into the throne room of the living God. You were crafted to recognize His voice above all others. You were crafted to blaze with a light that no counterfeit could ever imitate. Child, hear me. The days are dark, but your light is needed now more than ever. Heaven waits for your awakening. Heaven cheers for every chain you break. Heaven stands ready to flood your life with glory once the hidden cracks are sealed and the tainted statues are cast down. You will not walk alone. You will not fight alone. You will be carried, shielded, strengthened by the very hosts of heaven. And every step you take toward purity, every object you remove in obedience, every prayer you lift in sincerity, you are not only protecting your own soul, you are creating a stronghold of light that pushes back the creeping dark around you. If this revelation burns inside you, write it, declare it, let your soul echo in heaven's courts. You are not supposed to know this. The enemy worked hard to keep you blind, comfortable, distracted, but now you know. And with knowledge comes sacred responsibility. Do not delay. Do not wait for another sign. The stirring you feel inside you is already the call, already the confirmation. Tonight before you sleep, walk through your home with eyes wide open and spirit ablaze. Ask boldly, listen carefully, obey swiftly. Some objects will be fine. Some images will carry blessing. But if your spirit recoils, trust it. Do not argue with discernment. Do not debate with the whisper of heaven. Throw away sentimentality. Tear down what must be torn down. Better a home stripped bare but filled with light than a home adorned with beauty but festering in shadows. This is your inheritance, a life unmarred by hidden chains, a soul unchained from invisible snares, a heart ablaze unafraid. Promise heaven now. You will protect what was entrusted to you. Write it below. Let it be witnessed in spirit. And I, Padre Pio, speaking to you in love and solemn urgency, tell you this. The soul that listens to the whisper of discernment, the soul that tears down every hidden idol, the soul that chooses light even when wrapped in mystery, that soul will not only survive the darkness coming upon the earth, it will shine through it. It will become a torch in a world gone blind, and heaven itself will bend low to shield you, to guide you, to honor the bravery of your awakening. You are not made for chains. You are not made for confusion. You are made for glory. Now go, break the hidden covenants, cleanse your temple, and watch heaven flood your life with a river no darkness can dam. This is your time. This is your awakening. This is your covenant. Let it begin tonight.